City, Senator Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Speaking in opposition to the measure.
Has the floor.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, this body actually did have a governor with an indefinite term. It was during the 17th century. He was appointed by the Crown, and we had Governor Berkeley. Governor Berkeley served for governor for 35 years. Let me tell you how popular he was. There's a plaque down the other end of the hall named after a guy named Nathaniel Bacon that had a revolt because Governor Berkeley stopped protecting people and basically complete anarchy and dysfunction reigned. And ended up hanging hundreds of people as a result of Bacon's rebellion. So, you know what? We had unlimited term governors. It was a disaster. And in fact, when we seceded, or when we declared our independence from Great Britain, and we recharted ourselves as a new country and a new Commonwealth, what was the first thing that we did? We had a one-term governor. His name was Patrick Henry. And after he served, he turned it over to another young man named Thomas Jefferson. The bottom line was, our founding fathers knew that unlimited reigns in office, or even a two-term reign in office, was not a good idea. And so since that time, since 1776, we've had a one-term governor. Well, what have been the results? Now, this state has had its ups and downs, and my family's been here just like a lot of you. We've seen the ups, we've seen the downs. But by and large, our form of government, our process of government has not been the problem. You know, one of the great advantages we have in this Commonwealth, unlike Maryland, where I practice law, or unlike the District of Columbia or some of our other neighboring states, is once the governor's elected, that person, man or woman, no longer is running for re-election. So their focus is on doing the best job that they can to represent the citizens of the Commonwealth and not some other agenda. And as a result, we've grown as an economy. We've had a great school system. We've consistently been one of the best managed states of the Union. We've consistently been one of the best states to raise a child, one of the best states to own a business. We've been, by and large, a successful Commonwealth. Now, let me tell you something. In the words of the 16th century architecture critic, if it ain't Baroque, don't fix it, okay? We have a good system of government. Our citizens know that. We should stand by that system of government. We should remember Governor Berkeley. We should remember Nathaniel Bacon, and we should reject this attempt to basically unwind the great history of this Commonwealth. So help us God. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Senator from Chesapeake, Senator Cosgrove.
Thank you, Mr. President. Speaking to the measure. And I promise I won't speak to any more.
Has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I, too, rise in opposition to this measure, not necessarily because I disagree with the two-term governor, which I do, but this particular bill, as it's drafted, this resolution, does not just make a leap of faith, but it basically says, we'll change it, and, you know, if you feel like it, Governor, you can seize some of your appointed powers or whatever. No place in this measure does it require or even ask a governor to work with the General Assembly to dilute some of those appointed powers or the powers of the executive. This isn't a leap of faith. This is a gimme. So I hope that we would not support this measure. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. The senior senator from Loudoun, Senator Black.
Thank you, Mr. President. Rise to speak in opposition to the measure.
Senator has the floor.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've watched this bill come up over and over the years, and one of the things that strikes me is that, you know, I'm probably as critical of the federal government as anybody in this body, and yet I cannot remember a moment where I have ever criticized anything in the structure of the Virginia government. The reason is that we have achieved a balance of power. Each branch of government plays its role, and it plays it in an equitable fashion. Now, we're told that we need to have multi-term governors in order to achieve great things. But, you know, it was mentioned, we had Patrick Henry, we had Thomas Jefferson, we've had a multitude of governors who have run this state, who have distinguished themselves throughout history for doing great things. And I think in the modern era, if you look at it, I don't believe that there is a governor in my recent recollection that I would say, well, that guy just didn't do anything. He wasn't able to accomplish anything. Every single one of them has set out to do something, and within that term of office, they've been able to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, I just think the idea that we should take a leap of faith and join the other states, I think we're better than the other states. I look at the other states. Virginia is better, and I want to keep it that way, and so I would ask you to oppose this measure.
Thank you, Senator. The senior senator from Fairfax County, Senator Saslaw.
You know, Mr. President, it was interesting to listen to the senator from Fairfax City, you know, with basically if it was good enough, you know, for Jefferson in their time and Madison. And, you know, back in those days, they also believed that you could cure an awful lot of problems by putting leeches on people's backs. You know, we've gone past that. People thought mental illness was caused by evil spirits in people's heads. I like to think that we've gone a little bit further than that over the last couple hundred years. You know, it's down to us, sports fans. It's down to us. Okay? I mean, even Mississippi and Kentucky beat us to the punch. All right? We were 46th in the country to get elected school boards. And I remember the opposition, you know, to that when the elected school boards came. If we put that to referendum, you and I both know elected school boards would pass and pass overwhelmingly. It's become pretty popular, and there were some valid concerns about it, but you know the voters worked through it, and by and large they put some pretty good people in the office. We are the only state left, and as Senator Garrett, a senator from Louisa, has pointed out, that the governor that comes to office is a lame duck governor from day one. And, you know, let me tell you the point that hasn't been, you know, at least it hasn't been made by the last several speakers. When they know that they can run for re-election, that acts as a pretty good hold on some of the things that they might propose. When they know they have to face and can and if they want, face the voters again. And that's been the reaction of when governors in other states, and all of them now have two-term governors, that's been an explanation often on why they did or didn't do certain things. So this is a long time coming. Like I said, I mean, we've done away with leeches, we've done away with evil spirits, and now it's time to do away with the one-term governor.
Thank you, Senator. The senator from Alexandria, Senator Eben.
Thank you, Mr. President. Speaking to the resolution.
Senator has the floor.
Thank you. I would remind the senator from Fairfax City that the Crown is no longer ruling here, and that for the last 230 years or so, we've had free elections. So I think we can get past that fear. But I also would point out that even though Virginia is the best in the country in a lot of measures, that there's no reason that we can't be better and more efficient in our system of government. There's no reason we can't have more continuity in our budgeting, have more accountability, seeking longer-term savings when we prepare a budget, less turnover of agency heads, and allow that governor to be held accountable for their good performance or their bad performance. Finally, Virginia has more employees than Microsoft. Would we expect a successful Fortune 500 company to dismiss their CEO every 4 years? Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. The senator from Newport News, Senator Miller.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to speak in favor of the bill.
Senator has the floor.
Mr. President, every 4 years we stand and ask the people of Virginia to rehire us, and I think it's only fair that the governor of Virginia have that same opportunity. If the people of Virginia want to rehire them, they ought to have that choice. This is a vote for democracy, and I hope that it's the pleasure of the Senate to pass the bill.
Thank you, Senator. The question is, shall Senate Joint Resolution 263 pass? All in favor of the motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their votes? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 24, noes 15.
Ayes 24, noes 15. The resolution passes.